of course from Airwindows, and hey, you can do this. Because this is Airwindows LeadAmp, and we can make this in the box out of this. So here's what we're going to do. Today I'm going to show you LeadAmp, but we're also going to reference all the other ampsims, or at least all the ampsims I can remember. I've got 6 here, and this can be your little reference of which one does what. Hopefully that'll be kind of useful. I hope I'm including them all. I may have forgotten one, but I've got 6. This is the final one. So here we are demonstrating what each of these does. Now I told you, LeadAmp, as you can see here, the idea of this is that it's like a sort of penetrating sonorous. I could use Vox as an example, but none of these are really designed to be anything specific. However, when I'm showing you this sort of back and forth, I think you'll quickly get the sense of what each of these are like differently. Let's start doing that now. Whoosh with a picture of all of the ampsims together, and let's start playing this. You might also hear little clips from Skrunk, because the annoying noodling that you're hearing, which sounds so worthless in this state, is something that I clipped bits out of to use for a track. And that's something I'll be doing more in future, but for now, just listen to it play through, and we'll switch in each of the guitar ampsims. So, LeadAmp. This is compared to, say, FireAmp, which is maybe more martially. LeadAmp again. A little bit more liquid, maybe. GrindAmp. Obviously kind of Mesa-ish. BigAmp is kind of none of the above. BigAmp is a little more unusual. And then we've got ones that aren't heavily distorted, like MidAmp. That is sort of a Fender combo kind of thingy, and a LilAmp. Tiny combo amp. So there we are. LilAmp. MidAmp. I'll also run the tone on each of these because that's the only control. GrindAmp. And this one tone is very much the amount of overtone you've got in it. BigAmp. That's much less of a guitar amp model than it's more a kind of strange invention. This is also good for bass guitars and things. FireAmp. FireAmp is much like GrindAmp in that the tone will always give you guitar amp-like sounds, not the case with like BigAmp. And LeadAmp. This is also kind of going for guitar amp-like sounds at all settings of the tone zone. So that's kind of bright. But we can also do a sort of more penetrating kind of sound. And of course, what we obviously need, I bet you can guess what I'm going to do. All of them. You're welcome. So, LeadAmp is the last in the series of ampsims that I've made. I'm probably going to be getting use out of these myself, and I hope you do too. And I have just barely managed. I'm far from at 100% today. There's been a lot of house renovation work and stuff that I've been doing, and I'm up here in Canada. If you've been watching the channel, you might have seen that I did a little filming outdoors introducing a new thing, which is sample library stuff. So what we've got now, in addition to all these amps, is Airwindows Rickenbacker bass, and that is my recording of the bass I have back in Vermont. It's currently in storage. It's not even in my house now. And I've recorded it and made it into instruments that you can use. This is also the bass that I used on Skronk, by the way, and I'll be doing it with things going forwards, because one of the things I'm trying to do with all of this, and this is also, remember, what the Patreon supports. I do this because I am able to do this. I don't have to go out and start working at Walmart or something like that. I'd like to be able to devote even more time to this, and all of that depends upon basically being able to afford to do it. Like, I got a few extra hours lately from hiring a landscaping guy to come out and deal with and mow my lawn, which actually I had to do because I was going to be away from home for a couple of months. So nothing's in my house and I have to have somebody mowing the lawn. But I'm going to keep that because I need the time. I need the time to work on stuff. And sometimes you can only get that by hiring somebody to mow your lawn for you and then be fresh for the rest of the day, continuing to do this stuff. So I'm doing the plugins. I'm doing my level best to continue doing those at one a week. There's more to come. I'm certainly not done. And I'm also going to be doing sample libraries, hopefully also at one a week, because I've been generating enough of these with what I do that I think they can work the same way. This is, of course, all supported by the Patreon. It's hard to say whether I'm going to be able to keep that up, but I mean, your support helps me support you back. That's kind of how this works. I'm going to be following the Rickenbacker bass sample set. Look, I think I was able to post it in all the places I usually post things, and there's a video, of course. I was able to do the Rickenbacker sample set. It's a series of velocity layers. It is also Creative Commons, which is one of the final things on me beginning to do this, is settling on that, figuring out how I was going to do it. Creative Commons is similar to the MIT licenses that I do on the plugins, in that it's that Creative Commons BY 3.0, meaning that you can use it commercially and make your own things on it. You got to credit me. And you can't do stuff that technologically takes away people's ability to take your thing in turn and then also make it be Creative Commons. So that probably makes you be another Patreon guy, but I mean, run with it. People are able to do amazing things when you feed into this, like on the Airwindows website post for the Rickenbacker bass, there is already somebody who has put together a velocity layered instrument where the original bass is designed as distinct instruments at different velocity levels, so you can compose using that with consistent results. And that's the way I designed it, but because it's Creative Commons, people can take it and make something else out of it. You could take it and then build a guitar amp into it and make it be mono rather than the Rico sound split in stereo with bridge on one side and the neck pickup on the other. You could make an instrument that sort of pre-bake some of that stuff and run with it. Next thing coming out is probably going to be a little thing that I'm calling production breaks. And that is for another day. So, I mean, thank you to everybody. And it's not as many because these have been some pretty tough times. The way things have been going, people have had to take care of themselves rather than always support my Patreon. And I would like to underscore, if you need to do that, I want you to do that. Take care of yourself first. Supporting my Patreon is for people who are able to get something out of what I'm giving you and are able to support keeping me going doing this kind of stuff. And I'm fairly far away from having to quit and go to Walmart and get a job stocking shelves. Just saying. But, usually the more I get, the more that I can make out of it. And, yeah, I'm sounding a little rough today too, I think, because I'm definitely kind of under the weather. It's an interesting experience up here, but it's for a good cause. And more will be revealed on that. There may come a day when you will see me going, "Hi, I'm Chris, posting from Canada. I live here now. This is the studio that I live in now." That's a ways coming. There's a lot of work that has to be done to get to that place. For now, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.